I'm Doug from the Global West. Thought I'd talk to you a little bit about these control arms we have here on the table. These happen to be for 1970 through 81 Camaro Firebird. The part number for them is a CTA71L. These are the lower control arms. And they're designed to go to the standard spring. These are not the coilover application, which we also produce. Let me tell you a little bit about these things. First of all, we have the Del-A-Lum bushing, which is standard in all of our tubular arms. It's a 6-surface design. It's got an inter-rotating sleeve, inner and outer thrust washers. The bushing is channeled or rifled for grease penetration. You lubricate it through the grease fitting here. We actually recommend a synthetic grease. A lot of people ask us what type of grease do we use. We use a synthetic grease. It's a water-resistant grease. It happens to be from Neo. It's Neo Z12. It goes into the pores of the product. It stays. It doesn't wash out. A lot of your automotive lubes have a tendency to wash out with water. So make sure you look for a grease that is water resistant, and you can use that in your ball joints, bushings, U-joints. It really goes a long way, and it will protect them. So the Del-A-Lum bushing is used. We also have a standard lower ball joints already pressed in, ready to go. You have end links here for the sway bar attached, ready to go, and then of course we have a progressive bump stop. Now we call them a progressive because instead of being a hard bump stop, so that if you bottom out on the frame and it goes solid on you, this actually builds in resistance. Every 1/4 of an inch increases by 100 foot-pounds. So instead of hitting it so hard, you'll actually bounce off. It'll be absorbed to a certain degree. Another feature we have here inside the spring pocket area are these spring cushions. Now these cushions are designed to follow the contour of your coil spring. So what you're going to do is when you put your spring in, you index it in the frame, and then this will rotate in the base. Just line it up to where the end of the coil spring is and drop it right in, and it's ready to go. These are really nice if you find yourself trimming your coil spring to set your ride height. In a standard control arm where the pocket is pre-formed and it stays in one position, when you trim your coil spring, a lot of times you don't have an index anymore. You lose it totally. Well, with this design here, the pocket rotates to wherever the end of the spring is. You'll never lose your index. It's always indexed. So that's a standard item also. Now these particular control arms do not lower the vehicle. Everything is maintained at standard height. Now you might be looking at these pins right here. 1970 through 81, there are actually, the lower control arms will actually interchange, but what changes in 73 to 74, the lower control arm bushings go from a 1/2 inch bolt to a 9/16. So 70 through 73 takes 1/2 inch. 74 through 81 take a 9/16. So since these control arms actually fit all those vehicles, in the kit we give you an additional set of these pins. These on the table happen to be 1/2 inch, and the ones that are in the control arm are 9/16. So depending on what frame you have, you simply just push these pins out with your hand, change them out to the other pin size if that's what you require, and you're good to go. So you're always going to have these pins, an extra set left over. Now something you should know is in 73 and then 74, you need to look at your frames and see what you have when it comes to ordering something different. Just so you know, a lot of 74 Camaros and Firebirds actually had 73 frames, and 73 had 74 frames, and the arms were interchanged, and it's quite a mess when it comes to 73, especially 73. So with this particular kit, you don't have to worry about it, but when it comes to ordering other things for your car and you find mismatches here and there, it's all based off the frame, and the dead giveaway is the lower control arm bolt. If it's a 9/16, it's 74 on up. 1/2 inch is 70 through 73. So, part number, CTA71L. Very nice setup for that particular Camaro Firebird application you got going on. Very strong, cleans it up underneath. Del-A-Lum bushings keep the control arm going straight up and straight down. There's no deflection. Works like a bearing. Excellent choice for your application.